Hello everybody! Welcome back, welcome back! Hope everybody's doing well. Hello, 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 hello! Just making sure everything's looking good. Hopefully audio's working this time. Hello everybody! Yeah. Okay, we're good, we're good. Before we start, we have a few things to dispense. Here we are. We're gonna start here.
여기가 살인 사건 현장이군요. 이런 아마추어 같은 마무리를 해두고 가다니 어지간히 시간에 쫓겼나 봐요.
One and two.
당신에겐 제가 어떻게 보일까요? 시간의 태엽 안에 그 답이 있을까요?
This artwork is so nice. I mean, both of them are so nice. I don't know if they're sort of developing, maturing the style for the ego particularly. But I really like what they're doing. I mean, I don't know if it's a new artist or they're, as I said, updating the style, for instance. You can definitely tell from the hands. A lot of the older Eco, they have very chunky hands, you know? But this, there's like, the newer stuff has like more interesting lighting. For some of the more interesting poses, particularly like Sanguine Desire, Rhodia. This one, I have to say, was not expecting Time Duck. Taki-san, hello everybody. Hello, hello. I hope, even if you're just dropping by to say hi, I hope you enjoy the, enjoy the event. Near vibes. My friend actually said it was giving that Umineko vibes a little bit. But the way they sort of, we will be. This is Tremor time. We will up-tie these. I love how they make the veil. It looks, they somehow make it look sort of melty and wing-like Time Duck. So nice. I didn't actually check the value. Yeah. So you... Not terrible. It depends how you roll. 5 tremor count. Limited entanglement. This is really interesting. I'm definitely gonna have to play with it to get a handle on how it works. Because if we really want to get the most out of it, I mean, one thing I was thinking about before the units came out, I was thinking about what does Tremor want right now, and I thought you can do anything with Honglu. He just has to have Tremor. Because Cavernous Wailing is so good. And I was thinking it's one of the sort of problems now is you're sort of stuck. You can't really use Heath's skill 3 because you don't want to convert it. This kind of fixes it, but instead turns it into some sort of a big one-turn kind of thing. But I don't think I'm going to go to Update 4 yet, but let's start spinning the thread. We get this 3.5 times speed difference, max 35. At highest resonance, inflict. And now you're getting the Sloth Absolute Resonance. I don't have Rhodia's Pursuance either. So that would probably fit in. Or I think, I don't remember. Does because I don't have it, I don't think the Awakening version does Tremor Verse, it's just Corrosion, but either way. And how much? Yeah, so expensive. But I don't think 50%. At least they're not locking this behind any of the up ties, tremor count. Hi, Halam. Not a big role, but seems useful. Definitely, this is gonna be core no matter what. And again, this doesn't affect coin count, no. Hi Simon, welcome. So we'll have that for our Tremor team. Who doesn't? I guess it depends how much the Rose. Depends how much Rose Spanner you want to count as Tremor. They are, but because of the mix, I guess everyone sort of has some kind of Tremor. But here we go. And I don't have Cavernous Wailing. I probably will dispense it, but because I just dispensed, I want to see how well we can do with just him for right now.
자, 나를 범인이라고 생각하고 여기서 있었던 일을 천천히 상상해 보면
I'm gonna heavily assume.
진상을 파악할 수 있겠죠?
Gives me Hunglu. I'm gonna heavily assume that there aren't spoilers in the Uptie story. I guess we'll start by taking a quick look around. The child leisurely strolls into a dark and stuffy basement. He has a casual look on his face, as though all was right in the world. In his mouth is a sweet lollipop, and his gait is relaxed and gentle. There was something different about this child. Though he wore the same scarf that the others in his organization wore, he did not share their perpetual sense of urgency. It's not a rare sight to see a Eurodivy fight a Eurodivy, but this one's a bit different. The Eurodivy, an organization established with the spirit of bringing a new world to life, a world in which the few do not hoard the riches, a world of equality. But not all those who call themselves the Eurodivy share the same sentiment. Now that the Eurodivy was widespread enough to establish themselves as a real presence even in some nests. Yeah, I saw I saw people pointing out the scarf in the preview images. Like, that really looks like them, but I didn't realize they were that big. Hi Heavens, welcome! Some of their new recruits did not share that ideal. Some of them only joined because they were down on their lucks, or only because they simply disliked the way things were under the Wing's reign. Such disaccord often leads to eternal conflict. Sometimes, the opinions of the Wings and the nests just don't always see eye to eye, and sometimes, violence becomes the preferred conflict resolution method. But that's just how things are in the city, isn't it? And that is where the child comes in. He has been working as a Eurodivy detective of sorts, investigating instances of such violence. My, blood splatters all over the place. All those broken cups. That'll fetch quite the compensation. Hey, you're finally here. Yes, I am. Can I get a lowdown on what we're dealing with? His colleague extends his greetings as the child bends down to traverse under several layers of tapes outlining the crime scene. Well, like always, can't say I've got a lowdown to give ya. But I'm sure this mess is nothing more than one of them brawls that break out after a potent mix of too many shots of liquor and overly passionate debates. I've got confirmation from the witnesses and the owner too. One of them just glassed the other out of nowhere, right in the forehead. Ouch! With a glass cup? Sounds painful. Yeah, ouch is right. And that was probably the last straw. The moment of no return where all hopes of resolving the situation without a casualty were lost. The partner muttered bitterly before letting out a deep sigh. Lad, I can't understand how people gathered up under the same banner and the same cause could hate one another so much. I just don't. It's easy to bring people together for something happy because everyone wants the same thing. But bringing angry people together for something unhappy is hard. Because once you really look into it, you'll notice that not everyone wants the same thing. People all have different reasons for feeling unhappy about the wings, right? Sometimes I can't help but wonder how you can act so aloof, like you're above all this. If you decided to join the Eredivisie, I suppose you had your own reasons too. Am I wrong? Oh, I'm just here to expand my horizons. It's certainly given me an eye for picking up clues and getting a better picture of each case. The colleague simply could not understand the child, nor could he share in his casualness, but perhaps he thought that was precisely why the child could be trusted to resolve these cases with a fair eye and swift feet. Besides, it was more fitting for the Eredivisie to settle their own problems rather than to rely on a wing or the other associations. Right. What do you see? Give me something to work with here. Of course. Let's reconstruct the crime scene. Oh, that's what they're doing. Oh. I'm so excited for this event. The child adjusted the dial on his clockwork monocle as he replied. His voice suggested that he was in high spirits. The monocle, crafted by a skilled artificer who once worked for a famous workshop, highlighted various points of interest. Literal detective vision. Adjusting the dials would play various scenes that could help with the viewer's deductions. Look, the blood spatters all dried at different rates. This one's dried and viscous, and it's halfway permeated into the wood. The other splatter's a bit fresh, though. Not sure how much that info's worth. Like, how dried the blood splatters are doesn't help us much if one of them was living 8-hour days and the other 6-hour days. Can't tell who bled first from that. Let's reconstruct the broken pieces of glass. Wait, this was a light bulb, not a glass cup. And above us must be... Oh, one of the lights is missing. This could be interesting. Let's check the register, shall we? The child sang a cheerful hum as he sauntered up to the register. The owner of this shop organizes his daily earnings by collecting the receipts. I remember how he was always so proud to show off his collection of receipts whenever we came in for a meal. Looks like he's been deep in the red as of late. Perhaps a precariously hanging light must have been the last thing on his mind. Wait, that means... Yep. That explains the confused look on the victim's face I saw through my monocle. So all that was over a misunderstanding? The colleague sighed and ran his hand through his hair with a bitter expression. It must have pained him to see the Eredivie's name, to which people flocked under the same cause of revolution, degrade in the public eye. It's tragic, but maybe all this was inevitable. Expecting everything to go right in a world of ever-shifting chaos is to slumber in a dream of excessive idealism. Kidoki is... Just double checking. Yeah, let's go all the way. And then this is consume 15 tremor power, skill contained, then reduce. Let me actually double check skill 3. Yeah. Did I do the name? Yes, have a good time at the event. There we go. So, I don't think anybody is gonna have Ryoshu quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll need a 6. I could level up. I don't know how well Ishmael's gonna do. I might swap her to Molar. Even though she's more of a sinking unit just for right now because I don't want to level. I don't know how well LCCB is gonna do. But I probably will want to level her at some point, and then I just want to take a peek-see. Oh. I love it already. Okay, I'm glad we're doing the shop this time. Just so we can make the beeline. Tremor. Hello, Crestfallen, welcome! Massive maintenance. And anything different in sanity? Oh, Lucky Vector, welcome! Welcome, welcome, thank you! Thank you, I'm so glad you've enjoyed those. And I'm gonna get back to, I haven't played New Vegas in a little bit, but I'm aiming to get back to it next week. Yeah, I'm a big... Escalation's still one of my all-time favorite games at this point, and I'm a big Project Moon fan. Okay, and before we start, there is, given that this is a detective story, there is one thing. These are our main three, although we might have the others, Faust, Melso, and Isan. The important thing we're gonna have to work on is where do they fit on the fictional detective chart? This is our mission. This is our mission for this chapter. Now I have to say, I don't agree with every placement on this. Particularly York, but I think every character that lives, probably everyone, because I live in the city, does have a slightly easier because I know that strange and unimaginable things can happen. They probably do okay in the canon to it, the mechanics of the Death Note. They have a little bit of advantage there. But solving the case, I need to see how they perform in an actual detective scenario before I can fully grasp where they may fall. I'm just thinking. But my general feeling for why these three, let's put this away for now. Why these three were included. I love the concept. They have the like that Vergilius is choosing the like unexpected ones. But I also see it. Honglu has been. Oh, it's always unclear if York knows more than he lets on. I believe he could. Oh, sorry, my mic was freaking out there. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. The person who made that image's argument was sort of, and why they put that image there, was that York always introduces himself as Francis York Morgan, and that would put him at a major disadvantage. Which I can't disagree with. But if we move past that, I think he'd do everything. He'd get everything. We have Honglu, who we've been shown throughout the story, throughout the cantos. I know there's kind of wrinkles there, but that's not for the stream. Honglu is... We've already been shown that he's really good at picking up on things. He's very intuitive. And the other kind of interesting aspect is he's good at knowing when to interject with this intuitiveness. Ryoshu, we've also seen, can notices things that no one else does. She noticed that it was the ring, or at least the Ophi weren't actually the Ophi in the last canto. Plus, she probably has all the crime scene thing. I tweeted about it, but I want to see, if we have a good cop, bad cop scene, I want to see Ryoshu be the good cop. And obviously, Rhodia just got a big boost in why she's here. But, given that's related to the Eurodivier, however, I think... Sorry, I'm gonna... Since my mic is peaking a bit, I'm gonna turn me down a little bit. With Rhodia, I also want to add that she's very good with people. And being a detective isn't just about finding all the clues and everything. There's a big social aspect, and I think she'll be very advantageous there. Okay, let us begin. Oh, I can't even... You know I always like looking at these maps. Well, here we go. Yeah. Don Quixote loudly and obnoxiously flaps with a newspaper in her hands while peppering in a few insightful chuckles. Unfortunately, I now know exactly what this means. And... Oh! That she will continue to try to draw my attention until I acknowledge her at the most appropriate moment. Okay, Don Quixote, fine. What is it? Manager Esquire, dost thou know the city's upstart companies, such as one Limbus company, must always pay close heed to the ever-changing world around us? Hie thee hither, read thy newspapers, Manager Esquire, and do keep thyself up to date on the events of the city, as Miso and I, Don Quixote, do air every morrow. But just go along with it, why don't ya? I'm pretty sure she's talking about Miso in one of his morning routines. You know, the one with the newspapers? Ah, the newspaper routine, where he wakes up before the crack of dawn, parks himself on a chair, folds one leg over the other at an exact 90-degree figure four leg lock position, and peruses the morning newspaper. That. Guess it left an impression on her. Betcha she'll be back to her usual self in a week or so. Hearken unto me. Art thou paying attention? Yep, totally. So what's new? What, did an article mention us or something? Oh, how didst thou know? Wait, really? Forsooth! Feast thy eyes on page 3, though 'tis quite regrettable that we were robbed of the chance to be on the front page. Page 3? We're really starting to put our names out there, huh? Don Quixote and Rhodia, the two sinners who are guaranteed to draw the full attention of whichever space they inhabit, were speaking. It was only a matter of time before the other sinners began crowding around us, curious about the commotion. A dramatic conclusion to the mysterious disappearances at T-Corp. Shocking! The perpetrators to this mysterious case has been revealed to be none other than the prestigious Edgar family, appalling the general Well, I don't think we need to hear that part. What else does it say? With small assistance from some wandering bystanders who happened to be lost in the area, and the most admirable heroics of the T-Corp Class 3 collection staff on the scene. Wandering bystanders, is it? Perchance that particular denomination refers to us. Bystanders? They're treating us like we were barely there. They didn't even mention our company name. Aw, come on. Those time collectors weren't even there. This is within the expected range of behavior for the news media. Well, there may be those who seek to interview us after reading this very article, mayhaps. Yeah, I'm sure they'll have a grand old time looking for wandering bystanders for an interview. Very descriptive. I doubt anyone will pay us much attention, Don Quixote. Better not set yourself up for disappointment and... We were standing there for a good moment in a big group, chattering about the article, when someone slowly but smoothly walked between us. Excuse me, would you be employees of Limbus Company? You fellows are. I'm sure you're already aware of the reason for our visit. Oh ho! I welcome thee here. Long and hard have I awaited thy arrival. Now, from whence shall we begin? Just looking at the Big Ben-esque clock in the background. T-Corp feels like, given the whole time focus, there's probably some form of Big Ben around every corner. Ooh, is she actually here to interview us? No way. Don Quixote wasn't just losing her mind at nothing? I was not told that any interview would be taking place. My, where'd Virgo at a time like this? Now, where did I put that leftover hair gel from Heath's makeover? Thou may commence. Alright then. Verily, I shan't rightly take all the credit for what we have accomplished there. Will you be making your tax payment in installments? Huh? Okay, we're clearly not on the same page here. We are the tax collectors from T-Corp's Time Collection Agency, currently on a mission to collect your overdue time tax. Those ilks are never bringers of good tidings, indeed. Wait, time tax? No, that doesn't make any sense. We already paid our time tax in full when we went through the T-Corp Nest immigration process. Virgilia said a few days ago aboard Mephistopheles. Are you sure we don't need to pick up a timepiece for each of us to carry? You probably know this already, but in T-Corp, everyone must carry a timepiece, yes. I know the rules. But for every rule, there's always room for an alternative that offers a bit more flexibility. Of course, I don't suppose it's listed anywhere in that pamphlet. Outsiders seeking a short-term stay at T-Corp can pay the appropriate time tax for the length of their stay to be exempt from the relevant obligations instead of going out of their way to abide by T-Corp's rules. As you may have expected, anyone born outside District 20 must go through numerous hoops before they can be issued a timepiece. We elected to pay 30 days worth of time tax on the spot before entering T-Corp's borders. Impressive. Can't have been cheap. And yet I wish to wear a watch as well, like Lady Otis does. Haven't I already made it clear that it's not a fashion item? As I've said so in the past, the company has no budgetary concerns. It is a given that they would be taking care of such expenses. Finally starting to operate like a real professional company now, huh? I'm not gonna try Virgilius' voice this time. Yeah, there must have been a minor miscalculation or something. Maybe we fell slightly short of the amount we have to pay? It hasn't even been 30 days since we arrived here, though. I wonder how long they have been. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, they could be hanging out afterwards a little bit, but... Well, I'm sure we can pawn their stuff away to fix what probably amounts to a round in error. Easy peasy. Heathcliff muttered, gesturing towards Sinclair and Honglu with his chin. They'll help pay for the time tax, then sure. Oh, maybe? I didn't pack much when I left, though. Well, let's hear the damage. How much time tax do we owe ya? Currently you are... Let's see... What is this? 10 billion on behind in time tax payments? Wait, is that trillion? I wonder what the conversion rate is. What? Am I hearing it worse or something? I heard a 10, a 40, and the rest just kind of flew over my head. For that much money. Oh, we might have to make a brief stop at my place first. What other options do we have if we don't? I mean, if we can't pay the tax. Can't pay the tax is not an option. Your only options are the following. Make your payment with time or money. With time or money. With interest, of course. What the heck does making payments with time even mean? Now that I think about it, I remember someone talking about paying with time before. I never really cared to find out what exactly they meant, though. I know it was such a... I mean, I was assuming it was gonna come up, but... It's like such a tasty bit of world building that we weren't really delving into there. Isang? Heathcliff? Know anything about this? I have not once failed to make my payments during my residency at this nest. Thus, I know not what transpires on an occasion in which one fails to pay the time tax. I've never been involved in messy business like taxes at the manor either. And in my backstreets days, boss dealt with the complicated stuff like that for the rest of us. I did see a few poor sods getting dragged away because they failed to cough it up, though. Well, then... With their not-so-helpful answers, my mind immediately began to wander toward Faust, who I hoped would know something more about this than the two of them. And that's when Otis suddenly and defiantly stood between us and the collectors. This is completely unreasonable. What kind of shoddy calculations led to this nonsensical figure? Tax calculations in T-Corp are always exceptionally reasonable. The clock's ticking. Would I be correct to assume that you lack both the capability and the will to make your fair payments? Wait. We don't have to escalate this. Can we get a timeout? Your choice of words may be quite unwise. Try and whine all you want about not wanting to escalate things when you've got 10 billion on in your pockets. I won't recognize your opinion as anything of worth otherwise. No? Then shut up and stay out of our way while we deal with this obstacle that dares stand in our path. How exciting. A 10 billion on death. 10 billion and 40 million on, to be exact. Hello, Smoky Meadows. Oh, this music is gonna be... Okay, combat. This music is gonna be really funny if we have something really tragic happen. And we cut to this. One sec. Getting a drink. Okay, it's Pierce, actually. Well, some of the Tremor units. Well, good thing we'll bring Ishmael. 2 enemies. Fatal, Endure to Slash. I've barely used Opie Heathcliff since he came up. What's his actual... Yeah, Slash S Pierce, that's fine. Oh wait, I didn't level you. Oops. Let's use those. There's a few of these. Left a level. Save some for Ryoshu as well. So many dailies. And then I sincerely doubt. But yeah. Let's see one.
준비되었습니다.
출발인가?
계약이
Let's do that. Hold on, what do you need? Sloth, Gloom, Pride. And we're pretty fine for that. So I haven't really touched Tremor in a long while, so let's see how this goes.
입회한다.
Oh, we're jumping right into it. Let's take a look-see. We've seen you before, but has anything changed? Oh, I like this. Prepare to collect. Gain 2 tremor count. +3, inflict tremor, gain tremor count. Well, some of us spend tremor, so that's pretty good. Or want tremor count. Inflict 2, fragile. Oh, okay. Careful of the fragile. Your timepiece, if you will. Add 5+ tremor count, clash power. Okay. So that's gonna be, we're inflicting tremor. So that's gonna give them clash power, but I want to use my tremor team, so. Oh, blue. Okay, one sec. Consume 3 tremor, count itself, and gain 1 borrowed time. Gain borrowed time. Gain borrowed time. Borrowed time count -1 haste, clash power up, and fragile next turn. At 1 count, gain 2 times borrowed time potency -1. Bind next turn instead. Gain 1 potency and lose 1 count. If this unit has more bind than it has haste, the borrowed time effect expires and this unit gets staggered. Okay. You inflict fragile. Oh, I can hear the TikToks. Add 5+ tremor count trigger. Apply confusion to tremor chain. I'm surprised they didn't make the reverberation tremor blue, but there's 1 clash power for every 10 tremor potency on self. When hit by skills that trigger tremor burst, raise the stagger threshold by the effect's potency. Turn in, reduce the count by 1. So that's really the mostly just for losing clash power. For the tremor potency. Okay, this is interesting how they're giving like putting us up against units that interact with our own tremor. Okay, more borrowed time. More fragile. Oh, time delay. As long as this effect is active, damage dealt against this unit is stored and not taken. Alright. There's only 1 value left of this effect. The effect expires after dealing 2 times stored damage, sloth damage to this unit. Normal sloth. Passives. Right, I remember this one. Golden time. Oh, golden time 2. Between 10 to 20, instantly heal up to 80% of max HP and recover from stagger. 1 time max. After activating. Okay, there's fragile. Borrow time. Agitated. Damage up to fragile. Hi David, how's my day? It was good. I mean, most of it was spent looking forward to now. Working on some editing for stuff for YouTube as well. If target has 4+ tremor count, inflict 1 interlocking time. Reduce final damage by 30% and store it. At 3 count, take fixed damage by 1.5 times the accumulated damage and gain 3 points. Oh, that's interesting. Neat. Some of these mechanics, I want us to be able to use them. Oh, I didn't even notice the dapper mustache. Paralyzed, tremor count, lots of tremor. Clash power, lots more tremor. You're consuming tremor for interlocking time. Then more amplitude conversion, borrow time. Okay. This unit does not have borrow time. Gain +5 tremor count. Okay. So really... Oh, I'm covering up the weaknesses, sorry. They are both fatal to pierce and normal to blunt. And just sort of vary with endure versus ineffective on slash. I'm back. And then just double checking. Okay, blue. So for our skill 3, clash power, so we want 15 tremor count. So we want to be... We ideally want to be 15 for this. And that's the gluttony skill, okay. Just double checking. That's your skill 3. Let's be safer. And then I have not used Rhodia in forever. Arline God, thank you, thank you. I hope you have a good nice night. Yeah, we want to save the gloom skill.
한바탕 해볼까?
You've got burst there. Oh, look at that. Flash power. Oh. This is a new icon. In a clash, gain clash power equal to the value. Okay. That's unopposed. I want to save it.
가자.
You're meant to be the... Oh, look at that effect. I want to see some of these. Yeah, there we go. I actually didn't check level 40. Okay. I'd really... Oh, no, let's do one more turn to get to 15. Oh, and we're at this already. I'd like you to be faster to be able to do this. Back weight 1.
말했지?
얼얼하지? 정신 못 차릴 거야.
Like that sinking's just from Ishmael.
걸려라.
Oh, they're running away. You do that. Can you win with this? And we can get a little bit of resonance here. See if we can get these animations.
탈출 개체 확인.
방해꾼 하나가 사라졌군.
Okay.
당신에겐 제가 어떻게 보일까요? 시간이 태워가는 그 답이 있을까요?
Looks so cool.
힘들군. 그러니 알아서 잘 피해야지.
자, 한 건 했고.
편하게 가자고요.
Will we see this chapter at the end of it? Today? No, I'm only gonna do half-ish and save the other half for tomorrow. A T-Corp staff in a different uniform approached the sinners as both sides went on the defensive. Is this one their ringleader? He may be of a higher rank, but he is but an employee of T-Corp all the same. Which is to say that our insistence on meeting their demands with hostility may lead to a direct confrontation against the full force of T-Corp. Has Faust said anything at all yet? Lay down your weapons, now. Should you refuse to cooperate, all of you present may be considered hostile individuals by T-Corp, and we will use force too. I like that. How thrilling. This is bad. This seems like a great time for Vigilius with his intimidating, glowing eyes to appear. Man, weren't things much better between us and the guide Bud only a few days ago? Feels like it's been forever since then. Come on, don't glare at us like that. We had our reasons, Kay? They showed up out of nowhere and tried to extort a whole 10 billion on... 10 billion and 40 million on, to be exact. You really like saying that, don't ya? Jeez. Yeah. The point is, there's no way we owe him that much money. We're kind, law-abiding citizens who are brimming with a sense of justice. Hear, hear. Vigilius listened quietly for a moment as the sinners chattered on like they were a part of a comedy skit. Yes, I agree that 10 billion on in taxes does seem unreasonable. However, it is a mystery to me how no one stopped to think for a second about the troubles you might spark by starting a meaningless scuffle like this. In the middle of the street, no less. Vigilius let out a deep sigh before turning to the T-Corp employee. We find it regrettable that this incident has led to bloodshed. However, 10 billion on in time taxes, unacceptable. I'm sure you know full well that 10 billion on's worth of tax isn't the kind of money we can simply fork over in the middle of the street. I believe that would have been more appropriate if you had provided us with some context as to how this number came to be, instead of immediately marching up to us and demanding that we pay the time tax. I admit that such absurd amount of time tax levied upon your group is almost unprecedented. We have been summoned to an emergency meeting in the relevant office to address the severity of this incident. It was certainly Dante's time abilities. I see your point. Why don't we move this Why don't we move this conversation to the collections office in the relevant jurisdiction area for now to discuss possible solutions?
제압 완료. 경보에는 익숙해지시는 게 좋을 겁니다. 아직 50일까지 많은 날이 남은 것을 파우스트는 알고 있으니까요.
Poor Heath couldn't win clashes there. A case of the gallows. Is this when Marcel gets put in the machine? Oh, look at this. Local time collections office. The truth behind the absurd amount of time tax levied upon us was much simpler than I expected. Class 2 clerical staff. About a week ago, a large-scale unauthorized temporal leakage phenomenon was observed at the Wuthering Heights Manor, which shot you up several stages in the progressive time use tax bracket due to the immense amount of time leaked. Temporal leakage phenomenon? She's not gonna have any other expressions, and that's gonna work just fine. It refers to a deceleration in the flow of time within a certain physical field. In your case, it wasn't even a static deceleration field. It moved all over the manor for a good while, too. We measured about 4 hours worth of time in the process. What the bloody hell is she blathering about? A deceleration in the flow of time within a certain... It must be referring to the moment during which Dante granted us celerity as we were in pursuit of the man at the manor. Impossible. The manager's ability was activated for less than 30 minutes. It's most likely that your 4-hour measurement is a calculation error. No. Considering the odd sensation we had experienced as we departed the manor, it is most probable that no error had occurred in their calculations. Do you recall, Dante, as we left behind the manor? A few days ago. Ha! Merceau, is there aught wrong with thy daily routine? We had just returned to Mephistopheles after the incident at the Wuthering Heights Manor. It's just gonna... Yeah, there's really no other expression. Most sinners were keeping to themselves, given the clear look of sorrow in Heathcliff. However, Don Quixote's ever-cheerful voice, like always, constantly shattered through the silence. I have identified an anomaly. We should have been issued the morning newspaper, not the evening newspaper. This is inconsistent. This is inconsistent with the amount of time we spent at the manor. Perchance 'twas an innocent mistake? As long as I have been a passenger of this bus, morning newspapers have always been delivered during designated morning hours, and even on the lake? I mean, it is Mephi. There could just be like a sort of dispensal using it in the front or something. And evening papers have always been delivered during designated evening hours. The possibility that they have made a mistake cannot be completely ruled out. However, the likelihood of that is minuscule. Oh, now that I'm looking at it, that's a sunset, not a sunrise. I couldn't tell because of the lack of color. This cannot be. I like that Ishmael is the one to notice that. This must be the early hours of the morrow, is it not? I may have an idea as to how this inconsistency came to be. Right, the TT4 protocol. Oh, we're calling it that. It's like TT2. What's that? Temporal velocity synchronization device, or something like that. It's actually one of my favorite touches from LobCorp, is how all these terms are on the loading screen, including like beginning TT2 protocol, and you don't learn what it all means and how that's all relevant till much later. I've seen an ad for it once. A luxury solution to all your time synchronization needs. Enjoy equally leisurely hours together, or something like that. Oh-ho! It's quite unlike thee, Sir Heathcliff, to use so many complicated words in a sentence. Pray, shall someone explain it in plainer language? It is an apparatus for equalizing the velocity of time for all those affected individuals under the TT4 protocol's influence. Aha! Forsooth, I thought it was quite odd how someone so affluent in time was moving and speaking at the same speed as the rest of us. Then, with this information, it can be concluded that the time you've experienced within the manor was flowing at a faster rate than the world outside. That is a coherent explanation as to why the evening newspaper, instead of the morning newspaper, was issued. Good. Now that your curiosity is sated, I don't suppose anyone has any issues with tackling a new job? She speaks. The LCA has sent us a new request to track down a distortion. Ask for more detailed information. So, activating my ability within the TT4 protocol caused... yes, indeed. It was akin to a tampering with an already accelerated flow of time. From an outsider's point of view, it would have appeared as though more time than what was actually spent was leaked. This bloke knows what he's talking about. Also, you didn't just manipulate time on a personal scale. Like I said earlier, you affected the flow of time within a physical space. Let me remind you that it wasn't even a static field. It moved all over that manor. Honestly, this situation is completely unprecedented. Right. They used to activate it only on special occasions, like when we had plenty of guests over for a visit, because it was so bloody pricey. So, the time tax for your inflated tax bracket, multiplied by the surtax per volume from the physical space covered by the temporal manipulation. Yeah, no wonder it all adds up to this insane number. It ain't like we knew something like this would happen. Well, anyway, you have 2 payment options to settle this time tax debt. Options? What options? It ain't like bags of 10 billion on grows from a tree, innit? Option 1, cash payment. Option 2, time payment. Yeah, about that. What's that supposed to mean anyway? Paying with time. I mean... I wonder if this thing, can we like suck all the time from everybody and then like use Dante to reset it? Option 3, Amazon gift cards. No! Someone asks you for Amazon gift cards. That's definitely a scam. The employee, who was about to answer our questions with painfully observable annoyance, suddenly jolted at the sound of an alarm. Understood. I just got a call that they're ready to hold the emergency meeting regarding this incident. Limbus Company may send 2 individuals to the meeting to represent your company. No need to tick-tock and fuss, Dante. Dealing with complicated matters like this is one of my responsibilities. I'll be joining them to discuss the possible solutions to this incident, so please keep the sinners under control. Except you, Miss Faust. You're with me. Understood. Make another mess while I'm gone and... It's hard to even tell. Only Ryoshu will enjoy what comes next. Keep that in mind as you wait. Oh ho! Well, off they go, I guess. Didn't even give us a chance to ask them more questions. They're just leaving us here like this? But isn't this whole mess basically about what will happen to us? So, this isn't anything serious, but... What's Marceau doing on the gallows? What? Marceau, what are you doing up there? I was told to stand here, so I have done so. What told you to do that? May want to hydrate for the next part, okay? One sec. Employee question mark. Whenever there's a question mark at the end, that's not generally a good sign. I did. Just trying to be helpful with you and your friend's little time tax problem. I thought all employees were supposed to be at the emergency meeting. Whoa, a clock with legs! How fascinating. If someone were to submit you for consideration at the upcoming expo, you might even be worth the participation trophy. Uh-oh, the text got smaller. Okay, let's... At least they're not doing that thing when the text starts going and then gets smaller as it keeps going. I find that really hard to read when it suddenly shrinks. You remind me of the time when some hapless soul submitted a timepiece that doubled as a compass that had a rather tragical and critical design flaw. You could tell the time or find your path, but never both at once. Tell directions or tell time. It was only one thing or another, leaving you at a loss in time and stranded in the streets. That was no good, not at all. There was no better than a clock taped to a compass at the end of the day, is it? Oh right! TT52 protocol is operating at an experimental capacity with this office space. So don't you forget. Anyone not synced up with the daily standard time might find this a little disorienting. Keep that in mind as well. What? Now that's the look of someone who's never heard of the TT52 protocol, eh? TT52 protocol, as its name suggests, is an invention to address the temporal deficiency problem present in the TT4 protocol. It's doing test runs in only a few select T-core offices, so if you ever feel the urge to relieve your impressions on this shiny new thing, feel free to jot down a few words in that bulletin. Wait a minute, who wrote the 3-star review? The man, who we presumed to be a T-Corp staff, seemed very adept at holding a one-sided conversation with zero external input. Might be a good streamer. Not that any of us could keep up with how fast he was speaking anyway. Anyways, if you're ready, let's get cracking. I am ready. Wait, I don't know if it's really a good idea to be ready for something that looks like... The rope extending from the intimidating machine tightened around Merceau's throat. Oh. Is this what it means to pay our time tax with time? Getting hanged from the gallows? Please call it by its precise and given name. Temporal Scale Gallows. It measures the exact amount of time you owe and sucks that time right out of you. This wasn't the original name, mind you. There was simply too much hubbub and hullabaloo about its excessively long name, which was at approximately 58 words, or letters. Can someone ask him what happened to Merceau? Is that thing gonna kill Merceau? Kill him? Nonsense. She's a very gentle machine. That is simply preposterous. However, spoken in such manner, oft pretends the events of greater ill-foul fortune shall befall us. I'm not so sure as to what might happen, actually. I suppose it'll suck 10 billion ads worth of time out of your friend. Stop being obtuse. What's that even supposed to mean? Is he gonna be stuck like that for 10 billion hours or something? What? Well, not exactly. Let me tell you about T-Corp's particularly generous time... I'm making myself laugh. Particularly generous systems called the 4-hour daily minimum time guarantee policy. How generous, Even when the worst comes to worst, every citizen is entitled to the right to enjoy a minimum 4-hour days. According to T-Corp Public Welfare Council, 4 hours is the absolute minimum number of hours in a day to guarantee you would survive. Survive being the key word here. Is this a new Dante sound? My, sucking 10 billion and 40 million ads worth of time from your friend was too much, I suppose. Look, it says measurement error. That rarely ever happens. Wait, you pulled the lever then when you didn't even know what was gonna happen? Just out of curiosity? Of course, 10 billion on of time tax steps is a historically impressive amount of depth, so I had to see what would happen. You could land first place in the lottery and you still wouldn't come close to making 10 billion on, and that's before taxes. I'd say y'all belong in a museum of history if I'm being honest. Besides, I haven't seen anyone with more than 150 hours in time tax step willingly slip up to the gallows before, and anyone beyond that usually chooses to run and digs themselves into an even deeper debt hole. The point is, I scarcely expected someone in a 10 million on time tax hole to just walk up there like that. What is wrong with this guy? He looks okay. Awaken Merceau! Prithee! Surrender not to such machinery. Oh. Not happy. Oh! Thou art unharmed? I am alright. Why don't you get down from the gallows for now, Merceau? Regilius and Faust, who had just returned as this incident occurred, were both glaring at us with an expression that were anything but friendly. Here we go. The Adventure of the Three Detectives. Okay, I can clearly see that you're both accusing me of letting sinners run wild again. We had our reasons. We have reached an agreement. And? You explained things to them, right? Please tell me that the agreement doesn't involve us collectively dangling from that silly gallows. A 10 billion on is certainly an absurd amount of money. But it doesn't change the fact that we are still responsible for it. We did benefit from the extra time it granted us, and its use was something that wasn't mutually agreed upon before our unilateral activation. Because it was an unexpected event, no countermeasures could be put in place either. Yeah, but we didn't exactly have a whole lot of time to debate whether I was allowed to slow down time or not. We really had to think on our feet back then. I felt a bit miffed about being treated as though I was somehow at fault for this. If you plan to sacrifice one of us to settle the debt, I request that you evaluate our worth based on individual. I almost thought she was gonna volunteer for a second. Individual merit. Oh no. I've prepared performance evaluation sheets for each sinner precisely for one such occasion. On the last pages of those evaluation sheets are extra opinions that... I think Ishmael's probably still might be pretty... I mean, Otis came around in the end, but I worry that... how much she was fighting. Otis and Ishmael were fighting in Canto 5. I have a pretty low score. Oh, I don't plan on leaving any of you behind to take the fall for the group. Besides, 10 billion on isn't the kind of money that you can settle without it, with the sacrifice of an individual. We did eventually find a reasonable compromise while you were wasting your time horsing around in front of the gallows. And that compromise is... we've been contracted to deal with the distortion. Huh? I guess we're really starting to put our names out there if they specifically sought us out to deal with this distortion. They've sought out other fixers and companies to deal with this issue first. We were their 6th choice after the first 5 failed to produce a meaningful result. Gotcha. Well, the stories are starting to circulate via word of mouth. I will not deny that. So, what kind of distortion are we dealing with this time? This is the request regarding a series of similar, unresolved cases within T-Corp's borders. Some call it... the case of the Timekilling Time. Or just Timekilling Time. Several people have already fallen victim to the perpetrator. The case of Timekilling Time. I had to change my video title. I had it spelled with time killing being separate words. It is exactly what it says on the tin. A distortion is running wild, killing our time. Time is an asset here at T-Corp. It is not so difficult for us to track down the occasional time robberies by tracing it, but in the case of Timekilling Time, the killer does not leave any traces. It is simply gone, Completely removed and untraceable. No such thing has ever happened before, thus the significance of this case cannot be emphasized enough. That is why we formally request that you solve this case for us. In return, we will exempt you from your time tax debt. Oh! Thus arriveth once again my time to shine! According to a book I've perused in recent days, any and all detectives working to solve cases of urban nightmare beyond are issued special investigator badge. This special investigator badge during the course of their employment is a badge that may as well be a universal pass to command all kinds of aid regarding the detectives? Fixers! We plan to issue those badges, yes. Woohoo! Much have I longed to add one such badge to my collection. Perchance thou shalt allow us to keep the badges once this case is dealt with. Nay, I demand that I be rewarded with at least 3 badges. One for my private collection, one for display, one for business. To otaku. Said it last, right? What are we waiting for? Let's crack on, whack this distortion, and get the hell out of here. I hate dealing with money problems. I value your enthusiasm, but I would also appreciate you if you could allow others to finish their sentences before cutting them off and going on a long tangent of your own. The problem is that they don't want all 13 of you running amok in an effort to solve the case. Indeed, I can't have your entire group run wild in the streets and potentially waste the precious time of our residents. It would be... It's understandable, especially if you're with like detective stuff. It's sensitive. It gets if you have like a whole group walking out, it's suspicious. Also, the special investigator badge isn't something that T-Corp hangs out like candy. They can't give away a whole box of badges for all 13 of them. I concur. To a degree. Otis, who has continuously and consistently suggested that we cut down the number of sinners, was the first one to welcome this offer. We should have done something like this a long time ago. What use is there in hauling around these dead weights? We will leave the useless pawns behind to wait in the bus while the elite team of high-performing individuals takes care of business. You seem rather confident that you'd be a part of that elite team of high-performing individuals, Otis. It's ridiculous to even suggest otherwise. Alright, enough with your nonsense. So, how many of us are allowed to work on this case anyway? Vergilius trailed off, clearly unhappy about this outcome. They decided that 4 individuals, including the manager, is an appropriate amount of people allowed to partake in this investigation. That's not a lot. Accept it. We barely managed to get the authorization for 4 after much debate. Then you have wasted your breath. A tag team of the executive manager and I will be more than enough to handily complete this mission. I would really like to see her. To see her on board. Oh, Dante doesn't even choose her, come to think of it. Right, so it all comes down to my choice, huh? 3 sinners. So many eyes are upon me. Not that I've never had them all look at me at the same time before, but the pressure's on in a completely different level when it comes to making judgment calls like these. I wonder... I'm thinking about... If I were to like choose my own little group of sinners, I've always really liked the she trio, being Heathcliff, Dawn, and Ishmael. I really like the dynamic between the 3. As a group, I think they could bumble their way somewhere. I would trust them. They could manage. It might be unorthodox, but I think they could bumble their way. Looks like the manager's deep in thought. Well, pointlessly agonizing over something like this is a waste of time. I'm taking volunteers for... Oh, so let's see some hands, quickly now. Forsooth, I shan't hesitate before such excellent opportunity. Maybe it's finally my time to shine. You had your canto. But I'm glad you're volunteering to have another one. Oh, girls' night. That'd be so fun. One sec, I'm gonna turn on my lamp. We almost had girls' night in Hell's Chicken. I'm definitely interested to see more Rhodia here. Oh, I don't even need to ask you. Alright, let's get on a bit. Yeah, Heathcliff. His 7 identity really showed that he's good with... He's unorthodox, but he is really good at solving things. Nah, that wasn't... I'm not raising my hand, I'm just cleaning my glasses. This is no simple matter. I've not been with so few sinners before, except for that one time when we accidentally walked out to the outskirts through the back door. I really have to take this slow and really consider all possible angles. I hope we get to hear about everyone. What a mess. It'll be too much trouble for me to list and debate all the arbitrary limitations they set, so allow me to make the choices for you this time, Dante. Well, I don't think there's too big of a gap between them when it comes to their capabilities, but they all excel in different situations. Dante, are you listening? I just said I'll be the one to choose your companions. No, I need to consider more than just their individual capabilities. Some of them work better when paired together, but it's also true that haphazardly pairing them together might end up making a team less than the sum of its parts. This is all about building team synergy. Wait, didn't Rhodia say something about how people born in December and August don't mesh well together? And we have to consider what ego we're bringing, and can we generate the right resources, and can we generate them fast enough, and their passives, can we activate the passives off the bench? The sinners who will accompany Dante to solve this case are... I have to choose someone who can support me, calmly assess the situation, and remain free from biased judgment while making smart, rational decisions on the fly. The sinners who fit that description are... Do we even have anyone like that? I still have to choose someone, though. I've got it! I choose Faust, Merceau, and Yisang. Rodion, Ryoshu, and Honglu. Huh? Oh, wait, what? Huh? Dante... Crab music! Dante has selected me, Merceau, and Yisang. Have you been listening, Dante? I have certain things to discuss with Miss Faust regarding our upcoming journey, so she was not an option. Yisang was immediately ruled out even before the meeting adjourned to his history of developing an unauthorized invention at T-Corp. Merceau did not bother. Is that all it takes? There was no reason to volunteer. I may have been disallowed from joining this investigation. I am truly grateful for your appreciation, Dante. I shan't soon forget this. With that little smile. Wait, that's Hey Otis, you know that's not at all what I meant. I just thought that maybe we needed someone skilled and experienced like you to effectively manage the remaining sinners while we're... okay. Otis will remember that. I really soured the mood, didn't I? The three of them, I didn't even imagine in my wildest dreams would be hanging out together, all turned to look in my direction. Whoa, just the three of us, huh? A trio's such an eye-catching number, isn't it? Rhodey I get, but why'd the two of you volunteer? Thought it sounded F-A-H. Fun and Fun and something? The greater the quantity and diversity of experience, the better it is. Yeah. Don Quixote tragically drops her head to the ground, crestfallen. Your turn will come soon enough. I've naught else to blame but my slightly lower vertical placement in this world. Indeed, that must be why Sir Vigilius has failed to catch mine impassioned hand. Fun as oh yeah, good idea, good idea. Fun as heck. Don Quixote sobbed, dramatically lamenting how Virgilius did not even bat an eye in her direction despite her being the first one to raise their hand. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the only reason he didn't pick her, though. Oh, this is my final legacy I bestow upon thee. What's all this? A book, a magnifying glass, and... are these clothes? 'Tis my treasure, the collection. Prithee, be gentle with them. Oh? Well, why are you carrying 3 sets of clothing? One for my private collection, one for display, and one for business, verily. Is it not obvious to thee? Records of Investigation, Solution to the 13 Problems by Agatha... Huh? Somebody's article... Oh! Agatha Christie exists. Agatha Christie's in the city. Who's this Agatha? Bye! How art thou also ignorant in the lore of fixers? Once she was a great one fixer who was so prolific she may as well have been the face of the Seven Association. Truly? No one? Most people don't know those lore, Don Quixote. Cumbersome clothes. How wilt thou call thyself an ace detective when not dressed appropriately for the occasion? Hear, hear. It's only right that the leading ace detective adorn her countenance with this special mustache. Look, Lady Agatha says in the foreword of this book that any self-respecting ace detective must always dress themselves in the impeccable fashion. I had Malkut wear the mustached battle symbol from Salvador off that library as soon as I got it. Don Quixote just let go. So, I mean, I'm sure everyone has their reasons, but how come you didn't get picked for this, Ishmael? Oh, I really hope Ryosha gets it on the sprite. Didn't get picked? I never volunteered. Hey, it's not every day you get a legitimate chance to get some free pay time off without breaking company rules. And I wasn't about to let that chance slip. I guess I did have some last minute regrets when I saw who Virgilius picked, but I'll just relax for a bit and help him out when needed. Well, good luck. Well, call us the Elite Four. How's that? Well, the self-proclaimed Elite Four runs around T-Corp while we don't find a place. Why don't we find a place to take the edge off and unwind? How unfortunate. T-Corp did not authorize the rest of the sinners to run abound unmonitored. You must understand that we simply cannot let individuals responsible for 10 billion ands worth of time tax to roam free without proper collateral. Looks like they have temporary lodgings for those who have failed to pay their time tax. Virgilius was pointing at what was clearly a jail cell. Are you certain that's the lodging guide? They're going to jail? Yep, as living collaterals, apparently. It'll be fun! Hey, bet you'll look fondly back at this memory when all's said and done, Kay? We'll be right back, so be nice and stay put. Nice. This jail cell at least has some heating. Wait. What happens if they just leave and don't come back? We'll be seeing again after 10 billions on worth of time passes, I guess. Yeah. I just want to sleep on the floor. What? Hey, wait, get back here. That's more than enough time to finish weaving. Oh. That's from the Odyssey. That's more than enough time to finish weaving on the loom. Calm down, alright? We'll be back before you even... Thou shalt return triumphantly as a glorious band of ace detectives. Mark my words! We set off on our journey after receiving the aforementioned special investigator badges, leaving the chaotic screaming and hollering of the remaining sinners behind. After a while, all we could hear was the sad, intermittent clattering of metal as someone violently shook the steel bars. Alright, looks like everyone's ready then. Let's get a move on and have a little chat with the third victim. Let's see, the case records say that... Ha! There it is. It's just a stone's throw away. Oh, yes! Yes! Huh? Huh? What do you mean, huh? Look at the record. It clearly states that neither of the first two victims is in a communicative state. How unfortunate. No, I mean, why are you coming along with us? I'm sorry, but we're not taking sidekick applications right now. Go away. Shoo. Incorrect. One of us will be joining your team. We're going to send an employee with you so that we can receive immediate updates regarding your investigation progress. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. This is all I ever wanted. I'm satisfied. We planned to send the Class 2 staff with you, but you're... Me? Class 5, see the badge? The chatterbox of an employee replied cheerfully as he produced a twinkling badge from his clothes. I apologize for failing to recognize you, sir. I scarcely expected to see a Class 5 auditor all the way down here. This person's suspicious. That guy's a Class 5 staff. Really? Class 5 is the highest rank one could reach as a wing employee, right? Yeah, I thought so too. Well... it's still a question mark. Well, don't be so sure. It depends on which wing you're talking about. Who knows? Maybe there are Class 12 or even Class 20 employees out there. Get it? Got it? Good. Then let's get a move on. We stared in silent bafflement as the employee who had already stormed out of the building then hurriedly followed him out the door. Isn't it absolutely brilliant? The very concept of killing time. They're not slowing down or speeding up time. They're eliminating it completely. Just yanking it out of circulation. So, your name is... Mai? Relax and call me however you want. Names are such unimportant things, aren't they? No. Names matter. Really? You never call anyone by their names, though. Relax and call you however you want? But you're obviously here to be our handler. That's true. That does make things a tad awkward, doesn't it? Let me think. Ah! I've got it. You're all dressed like detectives. Why don't you consider me your ever helpful assistant who tags along in your adventures? Okay, but still... Ryoshu was staring off into the distance while puffing her cigarette, suddenly spoke up just as Rhodia was about to retort. Assistant, lead us. Right away, ma'am. What's the difference between an assistant and a servant? You know, my family used to employ... They sure warmed up to him fast. I'm gonna have to, like, replay this story just to make this my loading screen for a while. Time-killing puzzle. Okay, need a drink. Maybe we'll end up at the Big Ben equivalent. It would be a cool set piece. Let's see. The third victim of this case is this watch factory's... Hold up. The obviously gaudy and expensive suit. The meticulously trimmed and shaped mustache. The third victim must be the owner of this factory. Assistant, confirm my deductions. You're right on the money, detective. We're off to a great start. We are detectives working on case of time-killing time. My name is... Oh. Hello. What's going on? Ryoshu, detective. He sure is a fast talker. He's talking way faster than Miso did when we reviewed those chickens. He's talking so fast. It's like someone pressed a fast forward button in him or something. You can't understand a thing coming out of his mouth. He's someone who has a lot of time. Well, what's that supposed to mean? An average oh dear. Hi, meme lord. Okay, deep breath. An average T-Corp citizen is about 20 to 28 hours in a day, but you might run into someone like him, people with plenty of time to spare. Because they have so much surplus time, they can afford to condense 40 to 50 hours into a single day. And to people with few hours in a day, it'll look as though he's moving 2-3 times faster than them. Someone with that much time could pick their nose in the blink of an eye before anyone has a chance to catch them in the act. Ew. I gave Brody a quick look of concern. She had to do something before Ryoshu SHNC snaps his neck completely. A quick look, as if in a brief flicker of flames burning on my clock. Would you mind slowing down a bit? I'm just worried that you're at a serious risk of becoming a victim of a completely different, slightly more fatal crime. He shook his head in frustration, very rapidly that is, before activating what appeared to be a voice recorder. He began to play his voice back at us. Bumble! Pleased to make your acquaintance, My name's Bumble, proud proprietor of this watch factory, Apologies for this awkward method of communication, You see, my days are 52 hours long, I used to live 100-hour days in my heyday, but the things have taken a turn for the worse at the factory in recent years. 52 hours? To me, it looks as though you are all talking very, very, very slowly. I must say, it's quite frustrating. I'm willing to suffer this annoyance as long as you can solve this case, You have 52 whole hours to spend in a single day? Gee, I can't even imagine what that'd be like. Oh, I can tell you if you're curious. Oh no. It's a very, very full life, I must say. Having more time to spend in the days means I can get more things done in a day, like sleeping 10 more hours a night and having more than 40 hours left to spend. Good sleep really is the key to keeping your skin moist and fresh indeed. I'll let you touch it if you wanna. As though in an effort to demonstrate, Bumble was constantly zooming around the room, checking his documents, calling someone on the phone, and even brushing his teeth while he stood there listening to his recordings. I-D-C. Get to the point. It was one late evening, let's see, like always, I was busily walking down the street, I had a very, very important meeting to attend to, you know, and all of a sudden, look at the like. Of course he has the colors. Even the cane, I mean the gemstone cane has the color. An attack? No, I just happened to recall that I left the bacon on the kitchen counter at home. I should have left it covered with District 23's purple salt, My second-oldest aunt used to sprinkle that salt all the time. The point. Well, so I stopped briefly looking up at the clock tower. Okay, it's just the clock tower, it's not Big Ben. I'm wondering if I should head back home to salt the bacon, And that's when the Time Ripper struck. The Time Ripper! The clock tower? Oh, there's 12 zones at T-Corp. There's 12 Big Bens. Each one of the 12 zones at T-Corp has a clock tower that displays A-Corp standard time scale. Because everyone has different hours to spend in a day, their watches sync with their respective time scales as well. So to tell the real objective time, one would have to check the clock tower. Oh, that's pretty neat. Alright, you two, let's focus on the important stuff. Let's see, how about we start with a physical description? A fine tailored suit. Huh? A tailored suit? A bit fancy for someone called the Time Ripper, don't you think? It must have cost me about 58 million on, of course, since it was tailor-made, its comfort was beyond human imagination, Wait, what? Oh, and how could I forget, its impressive yet keenly shaped mustache? Hey, I wasn't talking about your own physical description. One more chance until I S-Y-N-C. Oh, you mean the murderance appearance, well, let me think, I don't recall anything, it just happened so fast that... How did it feel to have your own time killed? Was it painful? Can you not ask something like that with such a big grin on your face? Nope, it was just... 100 hours was gone in the blink of an eye, I missed my very important appointment thanks to that. How do you know, I suffered so much damages, See the white rabbit? 100 hours? So you lost a whole week in the blink of an eye? Nope, just 100 hours for me is just 2 days or so, Still, you have no idea how much I lost because of those 2 days. I'm wondering what this, what the uhs and ahs are about. Ripping away time, huh? An invention that enables something like that would certainly win the Inventor of the Year award, and loads of prize money that comes with it. T-Corp really values and supports inventors, you know. So people say that once upon a time, T-Corp's executive director himself showed up to bestow the awards. I guess once an inventor is always an inventor. I say they probably wanted others to carry on his inquisitive spirit. I've seen the ceremony once, and he was giving away autographs. Maybe we were looking for an inventor who received an award for that tech? Assistant? But every invention at T-Corp needs to be registered to the Technology Administration Agency, though it is not without a few exceptions. There's once a time when a rogue group of inventors called the League of Nine Little Atus made some inventions that they neglected to register. And wow, what a mess that was. Every single corner of T-Corp was up in arms, everyone dashing about in panic, making arrests, holding important meetings while I... It was that big of a deal? I can't even imagine how hard it was for you, Sung. Alright. So, is there anything like that registered at T-Corp's tech agency? Nope, first time hearing about anything like it. You could have started there, you know. What if this is a power granted by the distortion? Meanwhile, Ryoshu was completely uninterested in the conversation, stared off into the distance. She looked out the factory window and let out another puff of smoke before muttering quietly to herself. No killer? No corpses? Well, yeah, no one's actually dead, and we don't know where the killer is. Who could it be, I wonder? Well, there are rules to this kind of thing. Has to be someone mentioned early on in the story. Oh guess we're kind of like throwing rules out the window when there's fantasy stuff going on. Someone who took a look to my very expensive suit, I say, yeah, disagree. Aww. Besides, if I really wanted to kill you... Me? Why would you? I'd have to be able to move as fast as you do. I won't be able to get a good aim at your vitals otherwise. Ryoshu strode towards him, before suddenly breaking into a charging sprint. Bumble rapidly stumbled back in terror, but Ryoshu was fast enough to close the distance and press her scabbard into his neck despite this disparity in time. Ah. Just like this. Whoa. Thought she was actually about to beat the crap out of him with that scabbard. That'd be case closed then, All you have to do is arrest Ryoshu. You scared the heck out of me, Well, I suppose the villain didn't really stab me in my vitals or whatever, But he did appear all of a sudden, just like you did, I see. The killer isn't running around ripping time away from random people left and right. Yes. The killer was going specifically for that ASS. The void left behind by Sinclair's absence was much bigger than I thought. I meant that annoying, silly stash. Not having that kid here is frustrating. No way, Can you think of a single person who'd hate someone like Mia? I can think of more than a few. I must say that this must have been the work of a bandit who wanted to try on my tailored suit, Oh, what about your employees? Lady Agatha's book says that to find the culprit, we first must look at the victim's immediate circle. I have no idea if that book Don Quixote gave us earlier is actually helping, but I suppose it's at least a good page-turner. Hung Lu can't seem to be able to tear his eyes from it. Maybe I should check it out too, once we get back to the bus. Is it gonna turn out to actually be a book on, like, writing murder mysteries? Yeah, that works. Then, the culprit. Has to be someone who hates the owner so much enough to try and take his time. That seems quite implausible, as you can see. What? The laborers at this factory. They're all working so slowly, like they're moving through molasses. Oh, most factory workers like them usually live rather short 10-hour days, most of which they spend at their factory jobs anyway. What did you say? Listen up, everyone. Our output gains only 13% growth compared to last month's growth. Have I not impressed upon you how important it is? We'll be falling behind profit margin productions at this rate. Bumble hollers at them in frustration. The laborers very, very slowly turn their heads to look up at the factory owner. Even that simplest action was taking an excruciatingly long time to complete. Boss, that's impossible to work any faster than... Ooh, how bothersome. Less complaining, more assembling. Use your times effectively. Chop chop. You have no idea how frustrating it has been for me as of late. Did you even know that the next batch of cogs has stopped all of a sudden? We could understand him thanks to the recorder next to us, but everyone out of its earshot would have no chance of understanding whatever he's talking about. Hey, Mr. Bumble. You're talking way too fast for them to understand, you know. How do you expect them to understand the thing you're saying? So, it's not me who's fast, it's them who are too slow. Only hustlers and busy bees like myself who make the best of their time can rise up above the rest in this chaotic, bustling city. Oh boy. What? You know that's a load of bull. How are they supposed to hustle or make the best of their times when they're practically nailed to the floor? Oh, and with what time? Rhodia, oh, I wish this was voice acted. No, I just love to see how Rhodia's voice actress would play this. I don't think someone like him will ever understand what you're talking about. He was born and raised in T-Corp after all. Hey, assistant. You're a Class 5 employee, right? Are you supposed to be a big shot? You seriously think there's anything normal about all of this? Normal? Dear detectives, you happen to be returning from a round trip across every single nest in the city all the way from A to Z. Can you confidently say that you've seen all there is to see? Not really, but... Then give this idea a thought, why don't you? That the notion of what's normal is just a mirage conjured by the downtrodden and the suffering. That is to say, that suffering is just a part of life in the city, regardless of which nest you're in. I don't see any suffering in that mug of Mr. 50-Hour Days right here. Such harsh words, I have my share of pain, I'll have you know, I've been waiting for something to get finished for a while, You know how much pain it is to wait for something but also have too much time in your day, So tedious. Bumble gently fixed his mustache and hair before caressing his expensive coat with care. I want the last CG back. Okay, good. We have a fight. Two enemies. Fatal Blunt. Normal Pierce. Okay, that's fine for our... Good for our Tremor team. I'm glad I decided to split this into two, just because I knew the last few events, like, I was always had trouble voicing the whole thing. Yeah, I would like to try and get to like halfway through. I know there's a dungeon at the end, but... Oh, okay. Blunt. Endure slash. Normal Pierce. Well, maybe someone... Maybe tomorrow. Well, my highest level is... I mean, just between these two. I'm excited to get to the murder on the Warp Express. I've been feeling... I've been more excited for this one. Well, I have a hard time... I don't even know what that could be, because we're actually going to end up on the warp train. I worry that they're wearing out... I don't want the... It's like I'm scared of like... Not scared of it, that's not the right word, but... I don't want them to sort of wear out the horror of everything to do with the warp trains. Oh, maybe we can flip the script on our line of thought. What kind of people, Rhodia, do you think hate rich people? Who do you think would hate people like me? Well, except for my family. If I do ever get murdered under mysterious circumstances, I'm willing to bet that... I'm willing to bet that it's one of my family members who did me in. Or Heathcliff. That's a pretty dark joke. The culprit went straight for Bumble, but his employees literally can't move fast enough to have done that. None of them look like distortions either. Yes, if the culprit's hiding among these slow pokes, Clock would have noticed it. Then that narrows the culprit down to someone unrelated to this factory, someone without much time, someone who's got a bone to pick against the time rich. Or it could be someone who's unhappy with the state of affairs in the T-Corp nest. Also, while Dante could be right that this power was granted by a distortion, nothing rules out the possibility that they may be using an unregistered invention. There may be more than a single culprit, then. More than a single culprit, huh? Wait, I think I know an organization that might fit that exact description. Nah, no way. I doubt it. They don't ever take drastic actions like these anymore. Even back at J-Corp. Wow, that's some coincidence, isn't it? I happen to know of a group of people just like them. Sometime later, in a certain alleyway, a group of people unhappy with the state of affairs in the nest. Perhaps you are just looking for the Eurodivier. Ah, that rings a bell. Isn't that your friend, the founder of that organization, Rhodia? Rhodia stopped dead in her tracks. The Eurodivier. Here? You know something about that organization? I did hear that they've been spreading through the nests as of late, though it hasn't been long since they just started popping up within T-Corp's borders. So direct T-Corp employees like myself have been stationed all over the nest to question any suspicious individuals. It thinks it's a real bother. Standing guard here, all this stop and search, so tedious. So, what are the Eurodivier up to around here? All kinds of stuff that petty thieves get up to, stealing things like time or money. Well, I did hear that they also do some pro bono detective work for people who can't afford time or money to hire people and... Wait, stop right there, you! What are you looking around all shifty for, huh? Stop and search. Is this the same hat guy? Well, hey, I'm just trying to walk away from the lady with the cig and that creepy glare. Where can we find them, the Eurodivier? Whoa. Well, it probably ain't too difficult. Let's see there. Honglu! A sudden explosion tore Honglu to shreds as he was peeking around in an alleyway. Speak of the devil. Maybe I should have activated their badges earlier. Activate our badges? Starting off with a bang, huh? Good luck, Dante. Let's bring him back. Gotcha. Turning the clock now. Wait, you can bring him back? There! The explosion came from that way. Ooh, meticulous activist. Damn watch change of T-Corps. Here to collect your filthy dues, huh? Okay, no time to explain, right? Then let's talk about that later. I'm just double checking. Right, it's the gluttony skill. It's skill 3. Oh, ooh. T-Corp Special Investigator Badge. When this unit takes lethal damage, their HP does not drop below 1. Instantly heals 80% of the max HP and recovers from stagger once per encounter. When this buff effect activates, starting next turn, this unit gains 2 attack power up. At every turn start... Oh! Okay. Are we expected to be hit pretty hard? I was gonna say it might be useful to have like pursuance. Okay, what do we got? I'll wait with you. Wait, any of them different? Aggressive, quick-witted. To blunt level 41. Tremor count equal to tremor count. Inflict 2 tremor count. My secret weapon. Lots of inflicting tremor count. Filthy watch chains. Flash power +1 for every 5 tremor count on self. Trigger amplitude. Okay, we know this. Tremor distribution. Oh, this is fun. Sharing it with everybody. Turn end. Gain sum of all allies' tremor count divided by number of surviving allies' offense level this turn. Then regular tremor stuff. Turn end. If in panic, reset SP to 0. Oh! New panic. Low morale effects. Gain 1 fragile, gain 1 tremor. I love that they have the bandana. Or the neck scarf, I guess. On their panic. Fragile, tremor, gain plus tremor count when hit. And then you... same kind of thing. Okay.
이 사건에 궁금한 점이 생기셨나요?
Save that for a sec.
직접 타도하죠.
It's really interesting. I mean, I'm sure people have talked about enough already, just how the tremor was by far the weakest status effect, and the one that was probably closest to, like, fundamentally not working well. I wouldn't say it, like, didn't work, but the one with the most issues, and yet they put so much work into figuring out a way of making it work. I mean, they just needed to change tremor damage. I know, but they've done so much more interesting with it, because... and all these different effects, they're just... I like how it's become a much... not just did they add the effect, but they made it really versatile, which is what I always think. If we're sticking with these main 7 status effects to, like, complement the sins, that being able to diversify what each status effect does is probably the best thing to work with.
전투응대에 나선다.
Oh, we're at 14 already.
A에 거스르지 말고. A에 거스르지 말고.
걸려라.
But I'm excited within a few days we'll have... You need some SB. Within a few days we should manage to get some cool showcases and stuff. I'd rather use it at the Clash, but we have some others coming down.
가자. 자, 한 건 했고. 자,
Okay, they're
한 건
running.
했고. 자, 한 건 했고.
I don't think we'll get all coin. Oh! Some of the spinning skills.
편하게 가자고요. 편하게 가자고요.
But I'm not a big fan of the ones that really mess with the camera. Like a Muller Schmel skill 3.
야, 이 정도면 너무 성공적인데. 추가 보스 나오는 거 아니야?
Okay, another one. These guys also new, possibly. Probably won't get somebody who has her until tomorrow, I suppose. I was just seeing if somebody had one with pursuance, but that's okay. Make my own.
헌팅 커틀러리 준비 끝.
Rhodia should be coming up with some new identities. She's due. I'm really hoping she gets something, a proper bleed one to work with, but I still, even if she gets it, I still don't know how great the bleeds is gonna be. But I decided, I was considering up-tying Rose Spanner again, but I'm gonna sit on my shards a little bit longer. Retreat! Hey, participation trophy. Participation trophy? Is he talking to me? How on earth did you do that earlier? Tick tock, and voila! It seemed to me that you rewound the time and unwounded your friends. I've never seen such a tech that could rewind time like that. Well, that's... trade secret. Ask and you shall receive. Pain. Fascinating. Aren't you terrified of time? As far as I'm aware, there's practically no way to rewind time for a singular entity that exists in an open, unenclosed area. Either that, or my study didn't reach as far as I thought it did. Wait, no, that's actually a very serious problem then. I was very desperate, you know. It's very unlikely that I missed anything. You know what else is a serious problem? The fact that we're wasting our time chatting about inane stuff while they're all getting away. Come on, Dante. Hold on, inane stuff? This is extremely serious. Its importance is absolutely incomparable to what amounts to arresting a few small fire revolutionaries. If it was a true resurrection, then the head would have been after your heads already, so I doubt that's what it is. That must have something to do with time manipulation, I'm certain of it. Maybe it works with the same mechanisms as the TT2 protocol under the hood. Nope, that works only within an isolated enclosure. It can't rewind the time of a single individual. Perhaps they are drawing time from elsewhere to inject it into their time streams? Nah, that seems a tad bit more plausible. If you're actually rewinding their time, then the visual elements of that process would manifest in a vastly different manner. I suppose this means that you can't really rewind or skip time either. Am I right? You can't just say all that gibberish and expect me to be able to... Oh boy. Okay, I just want to read it first. The process also seems to involve a great degree of pain. Oh well, it seems I'm in bad taste to say that's good news, but I suppose I can say that what I'm about to tell you is somewhat auspicious. I was going to get into the nitty-gritty only if we had to venture into one of the more dangerous places like badge streets, but here we go. Check the other side of your badges. There should be a small clockwork knob attached to their badges there. Mind rotating it for me? The Class 5 staff jabbered on endlessly, zapping between numerous subjects within a matter of seconds before reaching out and pointing out that the badges we were wearing... Not all fixers specializing in investigations are strong enough to defend themselves in emergencies. That is why these special investigator badges are all equipped with the same special function that goes into the suits that the higher-ranking staff members of T-Corp wear. It's called Golden Time. If you keep the clockwork round, it will automatically speed up the body's natural regeneration process as soon as it detects that its wearer is at risk of death. It's nothing compared to what you're capable of, but it's quite something, isn't it? So... I don't actually have to turn the clock myself. Well, it takes some time for it to refill once its charge is spent. If you ever run out of uses, then I suppose it all comes down to you. Participation trophy. You'll have to take one for the team and bring them all back yourself. You're willing to do that, but not willing to help us before you get torn to shreds, huh? I prefer that. Good. Ugh. Ready? Let's go after them then. Sometime later. I did. They went off too. I'm pretty sure they came this way. No more tracks. We wasted too much time on his boring lectures. Hey, assistant. Are you sure it's okay for you to just saunter behind us like you're out on a picnic? Why would I run? I hate running. It's totally your job to arrest the Eurodivier, isn't it? Is it though? But my job at this precise moment is to keep my eyes on you and your investigation regarding the case of Timekilling time, not making Eurodivier arrests. You're a T Corp employee. I wish I could see his eyes a little better. I keep wondering if there's like something, if he's meant to have something going on with his eyes, like a different shaped pupil or something. Okay, fine. Let's say that I decided to run instead of walk and it helped you capture those Eurodivier rascals. What then? Will T-Corp suddenly stop having problems just because they're gone? Will this place suddenly transform to some kind of humanitarian paradise? Not to mention that, as long as their leader runs free, they'll be back before you know it. Excuses. Then. K. T. A. Oh yeah, kill them all. If we do kill them all, that only opens up room for a worse syndicate to take their place. If that happens, that collective friend from earlier might end up suffering something much, much worse than having to stop and search random passers-by. Not to mention they'll be getting muscle cramps from all the running. That's... Besides, isn't your friend one of them? Weird, I thought you wouldn't want to arrest them. Right? I thought Rhodia would be a bit happier to be reunited with the Eurodivier. Well, since it looks like the trail's gone cold, let's go back to the stop and search lady and ask if she noticed anything suspicious since we left. Fine. Oh? From the back, you could almost pretend it's Moses. The T-Corp employee we met earlier was standing completely inert, not moving a muscle. Poor woman! I can't believe she's still on duty at such a late hour. Such is the life of a laborer. No. They got her. I can't even hear her breathing. That's the Time Ripper's MO. The Time Ripper got to her that fast? Is in a state of absolute stillness. A death-like state achieved without a thimble of blood on their hands. What a misophobic art. But she may be in a state of stasis to those of us watching from the outside. For her, this must be as brief as a blink of an eye. What do you think the culprit's trying to do with all that time? Guys, this is a crime scene. Let's try not to touch the body. I mean, the victim. Well, look, there must be some sort of spatio-temporal displacement superposition phenomenon going on here. Which is completely incorporeal. Incorporeal, there we go. Is this seriously the time to... Rhodia, there, up ahead! I whipped around, noticing the now familiar sensation of a distortion, and caught a brief glimpse of a suspicious figure slowly slipping into the fog. Yo, stop! Ryoshu, think you can catch up? I'm not your hunting dog, but sure. I'll entertain you, just this once. Oh, she's pretty fast. Yoshu sure moves fast when she finds something interesting. It's been a while since I've seen people like you. The kind who sprint forward with their eyes fixed on the horizon. Here, everyone only looks down, their necks bent and gaze locked to the ground, watching their own feet taking their halting steps. Suppose they only ever look up to check the time on the clock towers. But there must have been a time when everyone walked tall. I think I know why that is. It's because they all learned helplessness. Oh, okay. Learned helplessness is a psychological concept. Let's see if they explain it though. Because they realize that even if they ran till their lungs burst, nothing will change. That it doesn't matter. Yeah, not everyone can run like Meso. Learning it to maintain a stable breathing rhythm is not easy. That's not what I'm talking about. Wait, take a closer look at her face. Remember? It's the same face she was making earlier when she shouted, "It's a stop and search." Yeah, maybe she saw someone suspicious approach them for a stop and search and got ambushed. We should act her when she recovers. But we don't know when she'll recover. Sometime later. Catch. Fainted activist. Oh, just brought one back. Are you sure you captured him alive? Ryoshu, doesn't he kind of look a bit different from the mysterious person that got away? He's clearly wearing something different. Besides, he's one of the Eredivier we already ran into. Those are just husks that can be cast off at any moment. He started running as soon as our eyes met. Like the opposite of a Pokemon trainer. Hey, rise and shine. Oh my, the suspicious one. Anyone would run if someone like you started sprinting after them with that big sword in your hands. I have many, many ways to crush the truth out of you. First, notice spam ring. Ryoshu, I wanted good cop Ryoshu. This is... Right now you're giving me more of a bad cop vibe. This is the year of Divier's turf. You'll soon regret dragging me down here. I've prepared this secret weapon just for this occasion. Watch out! But nothing happened. What was that? One of the 5 greatest inventions of the Eredivier T-Cart branch. The portable adjustable frequency periodical lightning apparatus attachment sound wave generator. This will call every single Eredivier in its range to this exact location. There, see what I mean? You see the problem prevalent among inventors? They never know when to stop when it comes to naming their inventions. You'll pay dearly for smacking in the back of my noggin. Oh boy. They're making this chapter pretty tough. Somebody has to read it out. Has to read out everything.
직접 타도하죠.
Okay. I still think assistant or... No, Ryoshu. Assistant is certainly... We do the charge. The one who's sort of most suspicious so far, personally. And just based on, like, the rules. Has to be somebody mentioned in an early part of the story. But we don't really have a mechanism for how... I mean, unless the distortion and the... Oh! The stagger. I mean, yeah, he could be part of it without being the actual distortion, I suppose. Can we get the kills without? This will get the kill. But we don't have a huge amount to... Go shoot your sanity! We don't have a huge amount of information to go on.
편하게 가자고요.
There's Rhodia getting the headsets. Yeah, only one wave.
편하게 가자고요.
We don't get to play with the fun tremor effects if everyone dies that quickly.
데이에 맞서는 자들을 확실하게 굴복시켰죠. 그럼 다음 타겟을 설정해 볼까요?
Trail gone cold. 7 out of 15. Let's do one more. So we'll do one more and then I'll finish up.
헌팅 커틀러리 준비 끝.
Oh, okay. This one has 2 waves.
가자.
Oh, nice Ryoshu.
걸려라.
I don't think I actually checked if these, yeah, they're not different. Quick wit, maybe they'll see somebody in the next one. Sure that doesn't go through. Let's get Poise up.
가자.
I'm definitely gonna have to get Cavernous Wailing. I'm very curious how, until I get to experiment with the setups, I'm not gonna know
제대로 찝었군.
how fast you can do these sort of tremor setups. Okay, there we go.
영원한 참으로 인도하지.
There we go.
영원한
It's so
참으로
cool.
인도하지.
Yeah, just saying how fast the tremor setups are gonna be, because that's really gonna affect how much they're gonna be used in Railway.
직접 타도하죠.
자, 한 건 했고.
And I guess if they have sloth weakness, because I can't imagine not wanting to use them on a sloth weak boss. Okay, anybody different? No. It's okay. Let's save that for a moment. Charge is good. Let's build up before we pop it. There we go.
전투에 나선다. 민감을 준비하라.
Hopefully they don't do anything resembling Steam Machine. Oh boy. I know there's still some from Mirror Dungeon, there's some packs I haven't taken just because
걸려라.
I do not want to do Steam Machine.
A에 거스르지 말고.
Spell at least being at the very end meant you can go for like some more cheese teams. Broken Unity, there we go. Love these more new sanity effects. I don't think we'll get to see these, but
직접 타도하죠.
Ryoshu's just gonna
영원한
get 2 of them right now.
영원한 참으로 인도하지. 즉시 꿈을 꾸러 가다.
And then I have no clue what the mechanic could be with the masquerade thing. And there's so many bosses from Kanto 6.
성공적이었다. 나쁘지 않은 움직임이었어. 이제 다른 쪽 집안일로 돌아가지.
The dying detective. You look like you're anything new? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up there, but we'll be finishing tomorrow. Might as well put the rest of these into modules for the moment. Let me think. Where have I... 288. I guess we'll probably get a Ryoshu by the end. I want to see the effect. Tomorrow's stream will be at an earlier time. Yes, I originally had it at more my usual time, but it's a bit earlier than I do it usually, just because I don't know how long it will take. I had a feeling this would be a bit more dense text-wise. But yeah, I definitely would not have looked forward to doing all the voices for the whole time. It's not really my strength. But I'm excited. I don't know where we're going exactly. Definitely like all the concepts being brought up. My dream would be for there to be an actual solving mechanic. Cookie Run during the last one of their winter events, they had a whole detective evidence gathering and testimony mechanic that I loved. Oh, look at oh, look! Look at these! Why does... I guess it's perspective, but... Why does Hong Lu look so short? I'm trying to figure this out. Why is Hong Lu... Why? Well, anyway. I like the... And I definitely like this more abstract look for these backgrounds. I mean, everyone knows I love them. Or he's just squatting, I guess. This is cool. It's giving more Phantom Thief than Jack the Ripper with this kind of look. But anyway, so I'll see people tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the event if you're finishing it at the moment. But thank you all for joining me. I super appreciate it. And I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.